soon as Tom gives you speed,
And we have speed.
Tom, once you get over your basic shyness, I think you're going to really do well in this business.
I'm working on it. I'm kind of in therapy.
I love it, though, because you're a person, obviously, with just a kind of natural high. Am I right?
Well put. And it has nothing to do with the 8 cups of coffee I've had this morning. Absolutely none whatsoever. I like what I do. I enjoy my work. It's fun.
Is it easier then for you to play a funny scene than when you have to be tender and romantic?
I don't know if easier is the word. Actually, I enjoy the process of being tender and romantic on screen. I mean, I like the reason I became an actor in the first place was to be able to escape from my own self as much as possible, and the more we can do that, the better. You know, being a goofy guy, it's more of a defense mechanism more than anything else. But yeah, I enjoy the whole process. You bet.
Are you a goofy guy?
My family insists that I am. Yes, not as goofy as my older brother Larry, but yeah, I have trouble taking some things seriously, I suppose.
When you first heard about playing this role in Splash and that you would be falling in love with the mermaid, what was your initial thought or your initial reaction?
It can't be done. No chance. Actually, in the course of first coming across this, reading the script, I knew that it was a story about a mermaid. Well, okay, how do you translate this to the screen? And the script really just spoke for itself as far as credibility-wise and quality-wise. It was very well put together. And I think in actually shooting it, we were able to improve upon the blueprint that Lowell Gans and Babalu Mandel wrote for us in the first place. Brian Grazer, the producer, and certainly Ron Howard, the director, were very, very particular of how they wanted to translate this idea of a romance, fantasy, comedy onto the screen. You know, there were certain taboos that they wanted to stay away from, both innocent and erotic-wise. And they wanted to make sure that this quote-unquote mermaid picture that they were going to make was of the highest level possible. And I think they are to be congratulated. I think they matched their potential.
Was the ending that we see, and I don't want to give it away, but the ending that we see, was that always the ending, or did they experiment around with it?
No, that was always the ending. When I came into this, that's what they had, and I was really pleased to see it when I first came across it. I was glad that they had the guts in order to adhere to taking the story that step farther. I didn't think they could have gotten out of it any other number of ways to get at it, to end the picture, but I think that they left it much more open and on a much more positive note the way that they did, rather than copping out with some little trick of the screen trade.
Going into the project, did you know that you would be acting underwater?
That was one of the very first things. We had talked about that, and I said, what we're doing here, in order to do this right, there's no way we can do it with doubles, so you're going to have to do it, and there's no way we can just rely on your own natural abilities. You're going to have to undergo some training for this. I said, great. Next thing we knew, we were in a classroom situation with a guy named Mike Nomad, who is instructor for the National Association of Underwater Instructors now. And we received safety courses. We worked out in the pool, learned all the equipment, all the techniques, went out to the Pacific Ocean, did some dives there in preparation for the 3 weeks of shooting underwater in the Bahamas. And we were prepared. We were all set to go. And I still have the card in my wallet that says I'm a certified diver now. So, yeah, it was a very physical aspect of doing it that really added to the adventure and the fun of making the movie more than anything else. It was great. It was like a working vacation.
Was it scary at any time?
No, not really. It was only scary because we didn't know if we were still going to be able to act underwater. As far as the physical danger, we didn't feel it at all. We were very much at home. We enjoyed it. It was great. We were wondering if it was actually going to be able to translate to the screen in a form that was going to be able to match the story that they were telling, but that was the biggest danger.
What is it like kissing underwater?
Oh, like kissing on the land, except you got to hold your breath a little longer, I guess. You still close your eyes and you still do it pretty naturally. You don't see as well, but because of the fog of the water on your eyes, but it's kind of nice.
Were there any injuries or anything, untoward at all? during the shooting?
During the shooting, no, not out of the ordinary. Some people stepped on a couple of sea urchins in the course of the thing, and they can leave a bit of a sting. But no, other than a couple of cases of the sniffles from the cold, and somebody didn't wear a hat and got a little too much sunburn. Ron had a heck of a time with exposure. Ron is like a white person. He is like, he burns real easy. Ron had cuts on his feet and had to go from the flippers, from the fins, and had to put on gym socks in order to go in the water. If you want to, and I told Ron, I said, look, you lose all credibility and respect as soon as you get on this silly scuba outfit and put on those gym socks. Ron, you look funny. I'm having trouble taking you seriously. But he all got past it. No, there was no big injuries at all. We were all very safety conscious.
In your scenes with John Candy, because he's such a wild character as your brother, is it hard to hold your own in a scene with John Candy?
I had the hardest problem is not just cracking up at what John was doing. John, you know, makes me laugh anyway, and it was very hard to maintain the concentration in order to stay in the scene with him. When I first went into this, I was certain that John and both he and Eugene Levy were going to blow me right off the screen, and I wasn't even going to be in this movie after I was on with those guys. But they come from an ensemble collective effort, and they really welcomed me and treated me as an equal in the creative process, which I thought was really a high honor. They brought a huge amount of the fun of making this movie into it. So it was always just a gas. John and I just kind of spritzed around between the two of us and had a good time.
Well, Tom, the fun that you all had making it and getting it on the screen is certainly translated to the audience. The audience I saw it with just screamed and hollered and had
I'm glad.
a wonderful time. So I think you've got a hit on your hands.
Well, let's hope so. Thank you.
And it was fun talking with you here in New York.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Good luck to you, Tom.
Thank you. Good luck to you, too.
Come see us in Dallas.
I would love to.